Do you remember being a teenager and having a crush on somebody and being absolutely obsessed to the point where you just constantly are thinking about this person, where maybe like a day before or a week before you didn't even like know their name and or even care that much about them, and then all of a sudden they get on your radar and you're interested, obsessed, and somehow something about your whole identity and value is wrapped up in whether this person like looks at you or says hi or responds to your text messages, or and I don't know if it's that way for guys, but it was certainly that way for me when I was a teenager. And my daughter is also in the process of going through all of this, and I see it in her, and boy, do I wish that I could help her to avoid the awkward heartbreak and uncomfortableness that comes when you're a strong woman who is crushing on a boy and wants him to just constantly be there. And I don't know what that is, but I've been sort of thinking about it, and I've been wondering if it has to do with religion and the religion that I was raised in, and how we were taught. And I don't think it's just religion, because I think even people that are religious in our culture also have this, where we're taught to look to things outside of ourselves for our validation. And we're taught to look to things outside of ourselves for our identity and our value and our energy. And so I talk about, the title of my page, Tales Awakening, is about me sharing about the process of learning that I was sensitive to energy and understanding how to be responsible for my energy and for myself as I have been going about my life. And so, I've just been thinking about this. I've been thinking about this a lot. For me, religion was a huge part of it, because I was taught to look to something outside of myself to fulfill me. And in this case, it was God. And I don't think that all churches or all aspects of religion teaches this. I think that certain, you might have certain denominations or certain groups or certain teachers that believe this, but I've also met people who are religious or Christian or any other religion and who don't feel this way. But it is definitely something that's predominant in our culture to look to something outside of ourselves to fulfill us. And so maybe it's like smoking a cigarette, or maybe it's candy or eating a piece of chocolate, or maybe it's doing some drugs or smoking a joint or taking some medication or crushing on a person. Or sometimes we start fights with other people because we want their energy, and we don't know how else to get energy, and we don't even realize that we're doing it. It's not something that people are doing on purpose, but it does happen, and it happens actually quite a bit. And so this process of just realizing it is the first step in learning to take responsibility for our energy and our experience. And I'm currently working right now. I've been brainstorming. I've been thinking about this, but later this evening, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to record a meditation, because I think that we have the power to create thought forms that can assist us in creating the outcome that we want to see accomplished. And so for me, the outcome that I want to see accomplished is that I want to be able to be self-regulating for the most part. I mean, of course, predominantly, as an adult, I am responsible for myself and for my child, for regulating myself and my child. But every single person on the face of the planet, no matter how evolved, or maybe not everybody, but I feel like probably everybody, even the most evolved Buddhist monk, still there are times when people are just like, I just really need a hug, or I just really need help regulating for this thing or another. But for the most part, we recognize that we are responsible for ourselves. And even if we are feeling a certain way, I accept that those are my feelings, and I'm not blaming them on another person. Like, it's your fault that I feel this way because you didn't, answer my text messages, or it's your fault that I feel this way because you didn't make me the kind of dinner that I asked you to make, or it's your fault that I feel this way because of this and that. And now, to be clear, this does not apply. My daughter has been getting bullied actually pretty brutally at school. So in the case of like actually abusive situations, like feeling upset or sad or unsafe and wanting to deal with that, that's a very different conversation. And I'm not talking about abuse here. What I'm talking about is that we as individuals are learning to take responsibility for ourselves, our experiences, and our relationships. And I'm exploring this idea of why do we look for things outside of ourselves to fulfill us? Well, I think that our culture just promotes it and teaches it. And I think that this skill that I'm talking about is a skill that I've been like learning to develop over time, but it's a process. So let me know what you guys think. And I will be posting that meditation. And when I do, I'll actually just post it in the comments of this video. But the thought form that I'm working with is that I can be responsible for myself. I can get my energy from myself. And for those of you that want to connect with God, instead of connecting with God in this place of like, I'm nothing, I have nothing, I need to reach outside of myself to receive. Well, instead I can connect with the divinity within me, because we were all created in the image of God. We all hold a piece of the divine inside of us. And as I connect with the divine that's inside of me, I can connect with the heart of God, the heart of Christ, the heart of the divine spark and being that is within everybody and that surrounds us and that comes from above. And so we are able to, instead of like here, this is like gut, instead of third chakra where we're like power and it's push and pull and we're trying to get power from other people, we can open up to the divine energy that's coming in from the abundance of the universe, of the ethers, of the divine love that is available to all of us. Fill ourselves, ground out through the earth, and then also balancing, pulling in the energy from the earth that balances us, comes up out through our crown, and then that balances our bodies, and then out through the heart. So I've been playing with AI, trying to create some of these images, and it's been an interesting process. So you might see a couple of those images linked. It's all new to me, all learning, but let me know what you guys think about this. Do you feel like you were cultivated or trained or just sort of like instinctively reached for getting energy outside of yourself? And is this something that you've recognized in yourself, and what are the ways that you've learned to deal with it? And it makes total sense. We start as babies, and babies have to get everything from outside of themselves. But as we grow, as we mature, we can learn to be more self-sustaining. And so what does that process look like for me? Tell me in the comments below what you think, and I would love to have a conversation with you about it. Much love, many blessings.